Wow. Furious 7, the seventh film in the Fast and Furious franchise, is directed by James Wan, the same director who brought you the first Saw movie, Insidious, and The Conjuring, and it stars all the people from the franchise, well, almost all of them. So unless you have seen Tokyo Drift and Fast and Furious 6, you know what happens. But if you haven't, I'm not gonna say anything because I want this review to be spoiler free. So, something happens and pissed off Jason Statham is out there and getting revenge on the main stars, and the main point of the film is to stop him. You think that's it, right? But no, there's another plot where Kurt Russell tells Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, and the others to hunt down this hacker, then look for this device that helps to hack electrical devices. Then there's this other villain from Guardians of the Galaxies that are after them. There are flying cars everywhere, there are explosions, there are fist fights, breaking the laws of physics. Oh my goodness, this film is all over the place. I mean, wow. Let's go back to Fast 5. Fast 5 is the movie that is responsible for turning this franchise around. This is the movie that proves to us that Fast and Furious is not just about racing cars. In that movie, we had a pretty fluent plot about a heist, and it kicked ass. Then we got this movie, and we got so much that is going on. And this film is just chaos and craziness all over the place. And for some of you, it may be confusing. Now, does this mean this film is bad? Are you kidding me? Hell no. This film is just fun. You know, one of those films where the plot just goes all over the place and it just gets under your skin? Well, in this film, you are not going to have that problem. You're just going to watch the movie, you might get confused, and then if you get confused, you're not going to care because the cars, the fight scenes, the gunfight scenes will get you entertained. And there are some times that you might just clap during the movie. In my screening, the audience was getting so crazy. They clapped, they laughed, it was just great. The thing about this franchise is that it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. You are just there to have fun because some of the action scenes are just so unrealistic. In the start of the film, you got a fight scene where Jason Statham is fighting The Rock, and the size of these characters don't even match. And you just want to say, how? But you don't care because you are already having a good time. Alright, I've been rambling about the action for a long time. Let's talk about the characters. They were great. However, I got two complaints for two of them. The Rock. You got the fight scene in the beginning, but then he goes away throughout the majority of the film, and that is pretty disappointing. I mean, he's in the front of the wallpaper for God's sake. Why cut him off? From Fast 5, he's one of the people who shine the light of the series, and since he's not in the film that much, that is quite unfortunate. I was expecting to see more. Jason Statham, he's the villain, he's your guy. He's in the film, but he pops up into the film when he's ready. A little disappointing. The whole film was balancing between two villains, and it's kind of a problem when you're trying to figure out who you are afraid of the most. Like I said before, this film is crazy with the action scenes, but also have some one-liners that make you want to laugh so much. I love the way the film ended and how it retired Paul Walker's character. Now, I'm not going to say how the film ended, but it was really beautiful. It was way better than it did with Brick Mansions. In the beginning of the end credits, it just showed his picture and that's it. But in this movie, it did a lot more than that. And if you are so close to Paul Walker and the series altogether, then you are likely to tear up. It kinda reminds me of Night at the Museum 3, when a film said goodbye to Robin Williams. I had a blast with this film. It's fun, it's crazy, it's over the top, all over the place. This franchise kinda reminds me of the Rocky franchise. It begins being a straightforward film, then suddenly we got other films that just goes over the top. That by saying, this film is really great, and I'm glad that James Wan and the production really figured out how to make this film work, with the fact that Paul Walker passed away in the middle of the making of the film. And I just have to give them credit because not only this film is great, but it reminds us of the previous films that he was in, and it makes us smile, then it makes us cry, and the film really paid tribute to him really well. I'm giving this film 8 tires out of 10. So, is this film better than Fast 5 or in reverse? I don't know. I'll have to say it's kind of tied together. Maybe Fast 5 is a bit better. It takes a second impression to watch the 7th movie to make up your mind. So, that is my review of Furious 7. Thank you for watching. More reviews on the way.